Hello and welcome back to another 4.2 Lodestone page update, or as the Japanese call it, the ticker page. So this page in particular, as you might have seen, we've done a few videos on. Every time it gets updated, basically there's lots of new information added to the site that we didn't know previously, or new screenshots. In the case of today, it's mostly screenshots, so this is a pretty short video, but I thought it was worth sharing anyway. There's likely going to be another update to this website before the actual patch goes live, considering that we still haven't had a section listed for Forbidden Land Eureka, but that is delayed until 4.25, so I don't know if it'll get updated here yet. And also the Hildebrand Adventures, which we'll probably have a short video on at some point, because that'll get updated for sure before the release. So what has been updated? So basically Rise of a New Sun, the main scenario, has had a new picture added, namely this one, which shows the, what's his name, Asai Sas Brutus. I think that's how you pronounce it. I've been working on that. Hopefully you're impressed. I'm not. But basically this is a guy from Garlemald that's supposedly allowed to enforce decisions on the behalf of the Emperor as an independent sort of guy, basically. I don't know how he got that. Either way, spoiler warning, as I should have said at the start of the video, this is actually Yotsu's cousin, or a relation of Yotsu's. You can actually see him in one of the previous cutscenes before you actually finish the base 4.0 storyline. This is something I completely forgot about due to the amount of time that has passed since that day, but people reminded me in the comment section of the last video, so thank you for that. Either way, it's looking interesting. We've got a new picture of him and his two goons either side. It'll be interesting to see what they get up to, especially when they want to join forces to fight off the Icons. We'll see how long that lasts. Next, we actually have a Omega Sigma Scape raid dungeon section, which has been added to the page, which is lovely. This features a picture of Alpha on the front there. The second picture is actually of Omega Sigma Scape, the inside part of Omega, with all the floating domes and all sorts of weird technical stuff that I'm sure will be explained eventually. The third image shows off the Ghost Train or Phantom Train fight, which is actually Omega Sigma Scape's first boss. The third image there of the second boss there. This next picture is of course of the Phantom Train in combat this time. There's a lovely white mage there in the foreground casting a heal as people go ham against the actual train, which looks pretty damn awesome. The final picture is actually the raid tier gear, which they have some full-size images you've been seeing on screen, and this one is one that I wanted to definitely get full screen for you. This is the new raid tier gear sets for the various roles within the game, and obviously we have casters over there to the left all the way to the right there with the tanks. It's I don't know, my personal opinion is it's better than the first set. I wasn't a fan of Deltascape's gear, but that's my opinion. This is a slight improvement, I would imagine. There's a lot more coloration, a lot more unique sort of areas to the gear, but all in all it looks very much the same sort of style as stuff we've seen before. Next on the page we've got an update to the Jade Stower, namely two pictures added to the previous three images that we had. First image that was added is obviously of the Jade Stower boss, and he's looking pretty awesome there with all the fire and sort of weird spell effects going off. I think that's actually mid-cast of his big like supernova attack, I could be wrong. And the final image is of him looking upwards, possibly a cutscene shot of him being summoned with all the lightning around him. The next section to get updated with a couple of images is the Elegant Tombstone of Mendacity section and the new crafting recipes. So this first image shows off the Elegant Tombstone of Mendacity gear. This is Mendacity, which will be capped at 450 per week, as you might imagine, and this is what it looks like, which is a pretty nice set. I actually like this more than the raid set in places, but that's again my personal opinion. I especially like the healer set there on the right with the Astrologian. Very cool. And this other picture is the new crafted gear. This is sort of a leg up catch up gear, but this is the stuff that could probably be pentamelded, which, you know, for some people might be the clincher. So this set looks fairly uninspiring in my personal opinion. A lot of this stuff is basically just reused, reskinned models from earlier, just with a bit of extra flair here and there. And then next we have one of obviously my favourite sections. This shows off two of the new minions that are being added in 4.2. And first we have this adorable little white tiger cub. I have an inkling that the white tiger minion might actually be from the completion of the side story itself when you unlock the actual primal fight, or afterwards as a reward. It's particularly nice, and I don't know, I just can't wait to do a video on this guy. He's adorable. And then of course the other image here is of a little weasel minion. He's quite nice. I wonder where he's going to come from. But, you know, I guess we'll find out in one of my future minion videos. The next section is probably going to be more interesting to some people that watch my videos than a lot of the other raid stuff that I've talked about, and that is new emotes and new hairstyles. Now the new emote seems to be sort of like a, I don't know, like a sidewards high gesture, or Native American sort of greeting, like how sort of thing, or live long and prosper. I'm not really sure what they're going for there. Could be just a high, like a silent hi and a nod. Who knows? But it does say express yourself with these new gestures and poses, so presumably they might have more than they show on this particular image, so we'll wait and see. Then the other section is the new hairstyles. That's Asai Sas Brutus's hair on the left there, if you really want to be that shortcut sort of hairstyle. And on the right there we have this long hair with the cut bangs at the front, which is featured on the Lalafell, possibly from Charlian, that Kryle is talking to at the start of that particular cutscene in the 4.2 trailer. And that about wraps up the updates for 4.2's Lodestone today. There's been some small updates and a little bit of interesting stuff here and there. We already knew about the hairstyle, not so much about Asai's, but you know, that's a nice little addition. The poses and emotes I have no idea about. The origin of the minions is interesting. The section on the gear is pretty cool. I like a lot of the gear from the actual Mendacity vendor rather than the actual raid tier personally, but it's still a step forward from what was in the Delta Scape, in my personal opinion. If you enjoyed this video, thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you did, and I'll see you all next time.